Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by OGPay.com. Today we're featuring Lisa Harris, founder of OWL. That's Organize with Lisa. Organize with Lisa was born from her lifelong love affair with neatness and order. Throughout her career with Macy's and Charles Schwab, Lisa learned customer service skills and project management techniques essential to a professional organizer. Lisa has built a business centered on decluttering, organizing, kindness, and compassion that helps people solve their organizational challenges. Organizing is difficult and can be a stressful, time consuming project. It's also an essential skill that can increase your physical and emotional health. Chances are, though, that during an organizing project, you made a few mistakes. And mistakes can be anything, such as misjudging the amount of storage space you need, or overlooking important details, implementing systems that don't work optimally for your home's needs. And while it's natural to feel disappointed or frustrated when mistakes occur, it's also important to recognize them as valuable learning opportunities rather than failures. And when you are decluttering and reorganizing a room, all of that can easily happen. Welcoming now to the show is my expert at hand, Lisa Harris, to walk us through it all. She joins me today to chat tips and tricks for converting a child's play area from toddler to tween. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you, Zen. So good to be here.
Okay, so let's just jump right into this. So you have been working with my home and my child's play area for quite some time now. You know the area and you know the house. Uh, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But at first, can you tell the audience what inspired your lifelong love for neatness and order, and how did it lead to the creation of your professional organizing business?
You know, when I get asked this question, I always just say this has been in my DNA my entire life. I have, as a child, I would dump out drawers in my room, my mother's room, the kitchen. I would dump them out. I would reorganize them. I would dump them out again and reorganize them. There is something about an organized, orderly space that is so calm and peaceful to me. So, almost 7 years ago now, I thought I'm going to bring this skill and love that I have to as many people as I can. And that's when Organize with Lisa was born uh, in May of 2017.
So you have the moniker Owl, and I know that that is something that's near and dear to your heart. It's the cutest design, and I love it. And I love that you are so passionate about the families that you help. So when it comes to transitioning a child's play area from a toddler to a tween, as we have been doing for Alexa's room, what are the most important considerations in terms of organization and design?
Yeah, so it's really important that this is a space that reflects them and their personality, and a space that fosters creativity, productivity, and ultimately, it's a space that they want to be in and that they love being in.
And I always say, do not overcomplicate. So a common home organizing mistake is overcomplicating a project. And this could be, a filing system with hundreds of folders for every individual bill, a mudroom with dozens of tiny shoe cubbies, or a drawer with too many compartments. I say the simpler you can make your organizing system, the easier it will be to maintain. And I think you would
100%.
agree.
100%.
Now, could you provide some general tips for optimizing storage and organization in a child's play space that can evolve with the child's age?
Sure. So I think it's really it's important. Let's repurpose the storage that you have, and then add in as needed. So, like what we did in Alexa's playroom, we repurposed her cubbies. Right when I first walked in there, those cubbies had little girl toys, and we repurposed those and hung them on the wall, which looks amazing. And now it's her library, right? So we transitioned from little girl to bigger girl. It's her library. It has some decorative items in it. Um, the other thing that's really important is to create zones, right? So we have a section for her Legos. We don't have Legos in 4 different places of the room, right? And we have an arts and crafts zone. We have an American Girl zone, right? So the flow of the room is really important. It makes it much less distracting and just they don't realize it, but it's important to have that flow be working for you.
Now, how do you balance, and you did a great job at this, the practicality of organization with the needs and desires of children during this transition?
Yeah, I think it's so important to get kids into good, healthy habits, right? So that means, getting into a new habit, it's not always fun, but once you're in it, it just feels natural and it feels kind of weird to not do it. So getting kids in the habit of being accountable for putting their things away, right? And as moms, I think it's important that we model this behavior for them, right? So they see it all around them. We're not only teaching them the habit, but we're doing it too.
It's extremely important. Now, people are often reluctant to start a home organizing project because they're worried it will take a huge amount of time. I was one of those people. So I suggest breaking the project up into small daily or weekend pieces. So every night after dinner, set your kitchen timer for 15 minutes and pick one small spot to clean out or organize. Stop when the timer goes off, or if you feel energized, do another 15 minutes before stopping for the evening. And it's also important to set an end date for your project. Don't leave your organizing project open ended. This sets everyone up for failure. Now, in your experience, Lisa, what are some common mistakes that parents make when reorganizing a child's play area, and how can they avoid them?
Yeah, so two mistakes come to mind. One is overbuying, and the second is buying bins before you start the project, right? That's the fun part. Buying pretty, colorful bins, that's fun. But you have to do the declutter and the purge first because after a big purge, you probably won't need as many bins and you may very likely need different bins. I always say that a storage system for 50 items looks very different than one that has 100 items in it. So, as excited as you may be to buy those products, wait for the declutter to happen first.
Great points. And don't neglect categories, right? I learned this. Categorizing is key. Unfortunately, many people forget to do it. So I say to categorize effectively, start by identifying broad categories that make sense for your belongings, such as clothing, kitchenware, or electronics. Next, take the time to sort through each one of those and create subcategories based on similarities or frequency of use by quote unquote categorizing your belongings. You'll create a systematic and efficient organizational system that saves you time and reduces clutter. And I learned this by watching you, Lisa. You've been in my home doing this for the last couple of weeks, and I've picked up on some of your tricks. Now, what are some essential organizing tools or even products that parents should consider when creating a versatile play area?
I love shallow organizing products. Why? As children and tweens and even teens, when they see a big toy box, say, they are a big bin, you're only looking at the top layer, right? They don't see what's underneath that. So when you purchase shallow bins, you can see almost everything that's in there. So my goal when I organize any space, particularly a playroom, is that when you open up a door, a drawer, a cabinet, you can see everything you have.
Of course, putting something, an item, a toy within the visual context of your child, which you'll be able to grab and reach to your point, makes their life so much easier and keeps the frustrations low. Now, what should parents do with all these toys and items that their child has outgrown during this transition?
Yes, donate. I am so passionate about donating. When my kids were, your daughter's age, I made them a big part of that process. I explained to them that there's a lot of children out there that are less fortunate and they would love to have your things. And I told them, you pick 10 things and you pick 10 things. And I brought them and we bagged them up And we brought them to the donation facility, and they were a part of the process, and they understood. The more you do that and get them involved, they get it. And then in time, they come to you and say, can we donate this to, the boys and girls that don't have as much as me? So yes, donate. And especially, this is a great time of year to declutter with the holidays coming up, right? I think that's very motivating to your kids. Like, let's get the stuff out that you don't use, love, want, need anymore. So, with the holidays coming, we have more stuff coming in, and you want to make room for that new stuff coming in.
I couldn't agree more. Now, what are some essential organizing tools or even products that parents should consider when creating a versatile play area for their children outside of just bins? Can you direct us into a more broad area? If we walk into the Container Store or into one of those organizational places, what's your favorite section? What keeps you organized?
Yeah. Love that. So I have a lot of go-to products. Those would be clear bins, right? They make them in all shapes, sizes, dimensions for any space in your house. I love drawer and shelf dividers. They keep things nice and orderly and kind of in compartments. I am a big fan of labeling. So especially for Alexa's age, who can read now, we label those bins. And I do this a lot in the kitchen, in a master closet. It helps you when you're going to look for something, where is this? And you see it's right there. And then even more importantly, where to put it back. So those are probably my three biggest go-to products.
And those are great products. I have them everywhere in my house. All my bins are labeled. I have shallow bins because of you. You practice what you preach. Now, are there any key organizational principles that parents can apply to help maintain? So we're talking about maintaining the organization of the play area as their child continues to grow and change their interests.
Yeah, I go back to the habits, getting into those healthy habits. I have what I call Take 5 that I do teach my teenage population and young adults, and even myself. Take 5 minutes at the end of every day, clean up what you didn't get to put away, right? We're all busy, right? Kids are so busy today. 5 minutes at the end of the day, clear your countertops, clear your spaces, put your backpack together for the next morning, right? So when you wake up the next morning, you hit the ground running. On Sunday, I do a Sunday sort. Same thing, whatever mail I didn't get to that week, right? And the kids, same thing, clean out their folders, go through their school folders, projects, put whatever you want to keep in a memorabilia bin, a keepsake bin.
You have it all down packed, even to the last detail. You are really, really good at what you do for a reason. And I can't thank you enough for converting Alexa's Playroom from toddler to tween effectively and efficiently in less than a few weeks. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
That was our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by OGPay.com. And that was the incredible Lisa Harris, founder of OWL. That's Organize with Lisa. You can check her out directly on the gram at Organize with Lisa, or head directly to her website at organizewithlisa.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out OGPay.com.